Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm doing a in-depth tutorial. This is one of the first tutorials that I'm actually filming, and this is the first one that I've done voiceover style. So I hope you guys are excited. All of the products are listed down in the description box, and don't forget to go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and yeah, if you're interested then keep on watching. So first we're starting out with eyeshadow, and I'm going in with my Urban Decay Primer Potion eyeshadow primer, and I really recommend this primer. It makes your eyeshadow last all day. It is kind of pricey, but it's definitely worth it, and a little bit goes a long way. And then I'm just blending that in with my finger, and I'm going to go in with my Mary Kay customizable eyeshadow palette and using the cream color in that palette, but of course you could even use face powder or a cream color from a different palette. Just anything to kind of set down that primer really helps the eyeshadow last 10 times longer. Next, I'm going in with my Kylie Jenner Sweet Palette and going in with the shade Rosé, and I'm just applying this as a transition color. Any light brown caramel color will work for this. Just something that would be a good transition to pack on some darker colors later on will work. And I'm just using a very fluffy blending brush for this. The next palette that I'm going to be using is the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, and I'm going to dip into the Red Ochre shade, which is like a burgundy maroon shade, and I'm just applying this, kind of focusing on the outer V and also blending it into the crease, but mainly focusing on the outer corner. Next, I'm just going back into the Mary Kay eyeshadow palette and using this red purpley color, but of course any will work, and I'm just blending that in as well. Using the same Kylie palette, I'm dipping into the shade Cocoa, which is a nice brown shade, and I'm making sure that all of the colors that I have previously put on there are blended together nicely. And then I am going in with that Rosé transition shade again to kind of clean up the outer edges and making sure that everything looks really clean and nice. Using that Anastasia palette, I'm dipping into the shade Realger, which is a burnt orange shade, and I'm just applying this to the outer edges and also the inner corner of my eye. Next, I'm just going to be doing my eyebrows, and I'm just using the Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil in the shade 4, and I'm just outlining my eyebrows, which you guys have seen me do a million times before. For primer, I am using the Mary Kay Foundation Primer. This is a really good blurring primer, and it makes my makeup look really smooth. And then I'm just also going in with the Wet n Wild Primer Serum, which is another good primer for smoothing out the skin and making the makeup look very hydrated and not dry. For face makeup, I'm using the Neutrogena Skin Tint. I really like this for any type of weather really, but especially in fall. It just looks super natural and pretty, and it has hyaluronic acid, and I'm in the shade Nude 40, and I'm just blending that out using my Wet n Wild makeup sponge. For concealer, I'm just using the Covergirl TrueBlend Undercover Concealer in the shade Classic Ivory. This is a little bit darker than I would prefer for a concealer, but it works just fine, and I'm just applying this under my eyes and on any problem areas and blending that in as well. For powder, I've recently been loving the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Translucent Pressed Powder, and I'm just using my sponge to apply this to give it a really seamless look and make it not look cakey. For bronzer, I'm using the Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour Palette, and I'm using the middle bronzing shade and just using a big fluffy brush and applying this everywhere on my forehead, my cheeks, my nose, pretty much everywhere I want to just warm up a bit. And then for blush, recently I've been loving the Tarte Party Blush. I got this in the Sephora birthday box, but Tarte's blushes are the best and they last forever. For highlight, I'm using the Wet n Wild Precious Petals highlighter. I really love this highlighter, and it is super affordable and easy to find, and it just gives you that really pretty nice glow. I'm using that same pressed powder from earlier and cutting out my bronzer and my blush. This just really helps define my face a bit and helps make sure that everything matches my neck since I am very pale. And then I'm setting my face with the Morphe setting mist and going back in with that Kylie palette and using that dark brown shade to go underneath the eyelid and kind of deepen things up a bit. Next, I'm using my favorite e.l.f. glitter eyeshadow in the shade Flirty Birdie, and I'm just using a liner brush, and I'm actually just kind of doing a thin line above my lashes. This is just going to amp up the look a bit and bring everything together. For mascara, I'm using the Essence Volume Mascara, and I'm also going in with the Maybelline Lash Stiletto Mascara. Both are waterproof, so that's going to give me tons of length and tons of volume. For lip liner, I'm using the Rimmel brown lip liner, but of course any random lip liner will work. You can even use a lighter lip liner if you'd like, but I'm using for my liquid lipstick the Huda Beauty liquid lipstick in the shade Venus. So because my lipstick is a little bit darker, I wanted to really accentuate it through the dark liner. So I'm just applying this, and then I am using actually a trick that I learned on YouTube, which is where you put a little bit of eyeshadow on your lipstick to kind of darken up the corners a bit, and it works really, really well. So here is the completed look. I hope you guys really enjoyed the video and a different style of video, and don't forget to check out the description box where I have all my products linked down below, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye guys.